So today we're going to look at the buyer and seller guides that are built into your KW app and how you can customize those should you wish to do so. So in order to do that, you're going to go into Command, pop down to Consumer, where we manage the app and websites. And when you pull that up, of course, there's the familiar screen that has your landing pages you've created, any agent site pages that you've got, and then next one over is Guide Builder. So this is where you can customize those guides that are built into the KW app. So when you pull this up, you'll see there's a buying and a selling guide, go figure. It'll be created by you, of course. It's got the number of steps and then any contacts who are logged in to your KW app. That is, the app's branded to you and they're logged into their consumer account. They're listed here, that meaning they've got access to those guides through your app. So my one person, of course, is one of our tech ambassadors, Mr. Piamba. So if you want to go in and customize these, you can click the little pencil icon to the far right. And it pulls up what shows what your clients see when they pull the guide up on their phone. It's basically got a transaction timeline for them to kind of review. In this case, I'm looking at the seller's guide with the listing, so showing your home, review offers, all the way through the process to close. So if you want to edit these for any reason, you can click them, you can swap out the images, change the title, change the subtitle, and then there is quite a bit of text on each one of these that's already preloaded that gives them a little bit more insight as to what they need to do in this particular step. So of course, this one's all on home prep, and hide your valuables, take your pets out, et cetera, et cetera. These are something that KW spent quite a bit of time developing. So most of the text and the terminology is probably good as is, but you never know if you want to change one or two things up to include your name specifically, maybe a photo of a home that you've sold, or like at the bottom of this list where there was the close, maybe you include a picture of you at closing and some other information. So that's where you can change the text, the images, those types of things, maybe make them a little bit more custom to you, the agent that they're working with. You can also rearrange the steps. So like one that was interesting on the buyer guide was, their start your search and then get pre-approved. It's possible, it's conceivable that you might want them to get pre-approved before they even start looking so they know what they can afford. So I can rearrange that step by clicking these little 6 dots here and drag and drop them. Also, when you click on these items, you can, there's a little trash can icon, you can delete these items. Then at the bottom, if you want to add any additional steps, my screen's in the way there, you can click add a step to add a custom one. And again, same information, custom step, title, subtitle, files, and you'll continue. It'll ask you to fill out the text and you can save that. So that's kind of a quick 101 on those guides. There is an introduction for each guide that's defaulted. So it just kind of says, congrats, this is the timeline you'll use, da 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 da, here's me. And in particular with these introductions, you may want to take a look at them because I just noticed this on one of the videos I was watching on this recently, and I noticed it was the same in my account, where in the introductions, for some reason, I think they still have some text or some test text in here. And so it says this timeline will help guide you through the steps required. Paul will be providing insights. So of course you might want to change that to I, or a person on the team, something like that. Looks like it's missing a period. So these are just again the defaults they've got in there, but I did notice that it has the name Paul on both of those. So you may want to go in and change those. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. Those are your buyer and seller guides as far as prepping to buy, prepping to sell. It's got plenty of great information in there, and it should be, you shouldn't have any issues in terms of, it being something centralized, top-down created. It still should apply in our local markets. The transaction process is still relatively the same across the board. But there's a nice way to kind of customize that if you want to tweak it a little bit, include some images of you and the homes that you've sold, some references to you and your business more specifically. And then, when they're in the app and logged in, there is a buyer and seller guide section in there, so they can actually work through that on their phone. And when they do that, it actually comes up as like a checklist, so they can check these items off. Okay, I've done this. Okay, I've done this, as they work through it on the phone, and you'll get updates as they interact with those materials as well. So that's Buyer and Seller Guides 101. Any immediate